Hey Padawans, good evening. How are you guys doing tonight? I want to talk about 1984 and I want to reveal some things. Now, this is mostly for the new members because I know some of you guys from 5-7 years ago, maybe I've told this story and I actually told you what 1984 actually means, but I probably didn't. Now, as you know, I make a lot of videos where I am traveling and going back in time to 1984. And then I disappear for a month or two. One time it was 3 months. One time it was 1 month. Another time it was 10 months. And there's a lot of speculation by a lot of people that are uninformed. You know, some say that I go back to 1994 to have rehab. You know, I've checked into rehab for 30 days. I can tell you that's not true. Also, that I run away from women. I'm scared of women and I run away. That's another one. That's a funny one. And I like when people just make stuff up, speculate when they don't know anything. Right? Another one is that I'm just tired of everybody and I just want to go away, and that I just kind of sort of go into like some sort of resort or hang out in the bathtub for like a month. So there's a lot of theories of what 1984 is. That's just a few. But I'm going to reveal to you the origins of 1984, at least when it comes to my life, my experiences, in the videos that I make that are sort of, I do use a lot of time travel, elements in there, and videos and portals and space and the universe and all that stuff, right? Because I'm into it. But I want to tell you exactly what it means and where it comes from. All right? So, I think about maybe 10 years ago, I was hanging out, sitting here, watching television, and this watch, the 1984 calculator watch, was, I took it off and I laid it on another, I had two sofas, like a love seat and another, they were sort of probably about 4 feet, 5 feet apart, two sofas. And the watch was, I took it off and I put it in one of them, and I was sitting on this one, having my Coors, and I think it was about 2, 3 in the morning. Now, this is all scientific fact, okay? This is all very real, very, time travel is proven, okay, by scientists. This is real stuff. I'm not making it up. But what I'm telling you is why I became sort of obsessed with 1984 and time travel. Back to 1984. So this is what? This is the origin story. So don't believe all the nonsense and all the haters and the clowns where they make up all these stories about, Miller, he just runs away from women. It's stupid. But I let it go because it's funny, So anyway, it was like 2, 3 in the morning, and I was having my Coors, watching television, and the watch that was sitting on the other couch jumped into the air in slow motion, and it fell on my lap, on my right leg. So yes, this watch actually out of nowhere just jumped at me and fell on me. So that's what happened, and that's when I started doing research and getting interested into the story, and then I found out, after many years later, I found out what it meant. Let me tell you, give you a couple of more examples. Just, you're doing things, you're cleaning your house, you wake up, and you see, you find these oddities and these weird things happening around you, right? So one time I was walking around and I saw this quarter, and I picked it up, and it was from 1984, and I thought, oh shit, 1984 again, And if you know me, George Snorri and the Supernatural, and Art Bell and Dr. Kaku, the scientists, the real theorists, the scientists, they know that this is real. So, okay, I said, okay, whatever, it's just a quarter, right? It's just a quarter, who cares? But then, like, it just started happening more often that week. So then I was walking around, and one of my action figures, my vintage Star Wars action figures, now I probably should have had them here, but let's just go with Princess Leia, okay? Let's say Princess Leia Endor gear. And so I was walking around one morning with barefoot, and my action figure appeared on the floor. It was just laying on the floor. I think it was Luke Skywalker from 1977. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the item, the object does not have to be exactly from 1984. It could be prior to 1984. And then another time I woke up and I turn on the TV and there's a movie from 1984. So this was not a coincidence. I'm going to tell you exactly what it was. Okay? But I'm just giving you sort of an example of how this 1984 research that I had to do, how it started out. Another time I turned the radio on and there was a song from 1984. Another time I had my shoes, my Adidas shoes, that sort of a replica from 1994 just appear out of nowhere and move across the room and just show up where it's not supposed to be. Just random places. And again, this went on for like weeks. And, I would see the number 1984 everywhere. I would turn on, like I said, the news, and they were talking about something that happened in 1984. I opened a drawer, and all of a sudden there was this toy that I had in 1984. So now you get the picture. Now you're trying to understand what this means. So I was like, oh man, because I don't want to do this. I don't want to make this video too long, I was like, man, what does this mean, What does this mean? Well, this is exactly what it meant. In 1984, I was 10 years old, all right? And, 12. In 1984, I was 12 years old. Because I was born in 72. So what was going on is my younger self, okay, was trying to contact me by throwing objects at me through time, through the physical, warps of time. It was trying to get my attention. And I don't know why. I still don't know if it changed my future. Maybe it did. I don't know what he was trying to warn me about. But he started, when I say he, I'm talking about myself as a 12-year-old in 1984. Because in 1984, I built a time machine. And I talked about it before. I did a drawing, I did graphics, I did all kinds of things. I was sort of a geeky, techie kind. I was like a nerd in 1984. Okay, I was into calculator watches, walkie-talkies, binoculars, telescopes, reading astronomy. I was big into time travel. So this is what was going on. My younger self was trying to contact me to warn me about something in 10 years ago, probably, what is it, 20 2015, 2016, something like that. And he was trying to tell me, hey, I'm here. Please come back. Please come back to 1984. I need to tell you something that is urgent. There's something going on in your life that I have to tell you about right now. So what I was doing in 1984 as a kid, I was throwing objects into time. All right? I was throwing these objects up into space. And there is no multiverse. That's not true. There is no multiverse. That's a scam, all right? It has never been proven. But there is time travel. And time travel works through rifts in time, in the timeline, like peaks up and down, and wormholes and black holes. It's complicated, okay? I can't explain it all right now. But that's what actually happened. That's how I started getting interested in time travel. And I got a little bit obsessed, all right? I got a little bit obsessed with going back to 1994, 84, all right? Let me have some course. Now, 1994 wasn't so bad, right? I'm not gonna lie. 1984 and 1994 wasn't so bad. So, hey. But anyway, recap. My younger self, my 12-year-old, was trying to contact me, get in touch with me, and warn me about something. I don't know what it was. I wrote a lot of stuff down. I did drawings. I did journals. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Maybe they were trying to tell me, hey, don't go to Belgab. You know? Maybe they were trying to tell me that. Maybe they were saying, don't go on YouTube and start a channel, or don't get married, or don't meet this person. It could have been anything, okay? But let me tell you why 1984 was so important in the timeline of our history, of human history, but especially on planet Earth. And I had this drawing that I did that I want to show you real quick. And I want to explain something. Now, when it comes to time travel, this is 1984 right here, right? This huge portal. And as you can see, I put 1942 up here. I got 2025, 1977, 2008, 1891, and 10,000 BC. Now, the reason I did this graph is this is the way time travel works. Okay, now, at least, what this means is that if you're in 1984, you can go to any of these timelines. Okay, if you're in 1984, you can go to 2025. Is that 2020? No, it's 1942. If you're in 1984, you can go to 1942. All right? You can go anywhere in time. But if you're in 2025, you can't go to 1984. So it's complicated. I'm trying to do the math. I've been doing the research for 10 years now. Well, now it's been 15 years. 10 to 15 years. And it's complicated because I don't have the funds to do a full-on, experiment with light, and atoms and nuclear energy. I don't have all that stuff. I don't have the money for that. But the government is working on it. Now, the one I drew about it in the back here. Now, the reason 1984 is so important is because 1984 is the peak of our civilization. Okay? That's the peak. That's it. That's where we were supposed to be. And as you can see, it starts going down after 1984. I got 2001. I got 2025 here. And I got 2036 here, where I believe that the end of the world is going to be 2036. But it started out over here, year zero, 6,000 BC. So I hope you get the picture to what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm saying is, I think the timeline, the shift, the door, because I've used doors in my videos before, but it's not really a door. It's more of, let's just call it a time portal. It opened in 1984 because that's when we got to our maximum, level of evolution. That is the ultimate evolution. Why? Why is that? Why is everything going down the drain? Why are we de-evolving? Why is everything going to be destroyed? And why are we going to die? Well, I think that's somebody's plan, the maker, the creator, God. He probably wanted us to reach a point where we were at our best, where we were the better person, where we created most of the incredible, amazing, technology in our history. And, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a couple of courses. Just a couple of courses, because I don't have to work today. But why is 1994 so important, all right? Well, it was the peak of music. The music was incredible. Movies, computers, architecture, all right? Space exploration, everything. Sunglasses, t-shirts, all right? Cars, everything was at its maximum in 1984. Now, I'm not saying that before 1984, everything was great. It was all great. But what I'm saying, it all peaked in 84. And that was the end of our evolution. That was it. That's how far we're going to get on this earth. So why is it so important that we go to Mars and that we support SpaceX? Why is that so important? Because we have to save ourselves. We have to save Earth. This is it. The asteroid is coming. It's not global warming. It's not, it's not us. We're gonna get hit by an asteroid. Or, listen, the moon, and I predicted this a long time ago when I talked to Art Bell. The moon is going to crash and destroy the Earth. The moon is our killer. All right, the moon is our killer, our destructor. This is it. I mean, this is why 1984 is so important, not just to me, but to everyone else. The influence is all around you. Pay attention. So, if you have, now the way you can do things is if I have this pen and I just throw it into the air, it might just jump into the timeline and appear anywhere. It could appear anywhere in in our history. I don't know, 1942. So, but what I've been trying to do, and I'm not gonna lie, I have not been able to physically go to 1984. When I'm talking physically, I mean my entire body. Okay, I have been able to be there with my mind, all right, with objects. This is the way it works. Objects can time travel, all right? Objects. When I'm talking about objects, the little things, jewelry, watches, dimes, coins, chains, keychains, whatever. Like the smaller things can travel through time. And sometimes they get lost and you lose them. And they might end up in 1984 somewhere. Maybe I picked it up when I was 12 years old. I don't know. But This is scientific, guys. This is real as it gets. And I just wanted to explain it to you guys what it actually meant, more to my new subs, because I know a lot of my new subs I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, what the hell? Why is Miller making all these videos about 1984? Is it a break? Yes, it's a break, because I need time to do research. I need time to try to go back to 1984, and it's not easy. Okay, you got to do a lot of work. I dropped my graph, but that's it. That's what 1984 is, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if the warning from the past has already passed. Like if I'm safe now. If something, or maybe something's gonna happen like tomorrow or next day, but I can tell you that myself from 84 has not contacted me in a while. So maybe I stopped trying to talk to myself now. Maybe something got fixed. All right, maybe I did the right thing. I don't know what's going on. Maybe my 12-year-old is maybe he's lost in time, lost in space. Maybe he can't get in touch with me anymore. So I'm trying to get in touch with myself, and that's not easy because I don't have, first of all, I don't have the equipment, all right? I don't have the labs. I don't have labs, all right? I know the math because I was very good at math. You know, I have my scientific calculator, but I don't know where to go from there. I mean, is it the equation, you know, light speed? Is it like the speed of light? I don't know what it is. It could be anything, guys. It could be how do you bend time, right? And what I'm saying is, I don't think that we can travel back to 84 or 82 or 77. I think it's impossible, but we are going to, maybe when we get to 2036, maybe that's what it means. Maybe when we get to 2036, we'll be able to transport our body, our physical, you know, flesh body back in time. But what I know now, what I have looked into, it's only objects, you know, very tiny objects, mostly, you know, well, I don't know, because I've heard of airplanes going, you know, disappearing, you know, cruise ships, jet fighters. So it could be, I mean, maybe size doesn't matter. Maybe it's not about size, but it's just about objects, you know, just anything. It could be I don't know, like I said, it could be this pen, or it could be this cup. I could wake up tomorrow and this cup is gone and it shows up in 1984 in my kitchen. I don't really know how everything works, but what I'm saying is I wanted to explain to you guys in detail what it actually means, and not believe all these people that have been saying that, oh, just run away from reality. Well, it is reality. Time travel is real. I believe it. Maybe I know a lot of people don't believe in this stuff, you know, but if you read the books, if you pay attention to scientists and writers and the smartest people in the world, they will tell you that time travel is possible. Maybe not in a DeLorean, okay? Maybe not in a time machine like, you know, like in the movie, but again, I do love Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve, and I do love the Butterfly Effect. So I think time travel for now. Maybe the government has it. Maybe Stargate. You know, maybe Stargate is time travel. I don't know. Maybe the aliens can do it. But no, I think aliens are mostly like, you know, interdimensional. That's different. I mean, when you're interdimensional, that's totally a different thing. That means you go from, you know, one plane of, it's not a multiverse. Okay, it's not a multiverse. That means that you can go from one plane of existence to another. Now, when in that case, there's no other you in that other level, all right? So it's a different Earth or a different planet. So it doesn't mean that everything is the same. That's what I mean. But maybe it's complicated. I could talk about hours about this stuff. I gotta go. I just wanted to explain it to you and give you guys an overall idea of the origins of 1984, at least when it comes to my life. And this is why I make the videos, and this is why I leave for months to 1984. Does it help to go away, to be away from YouTube for a while or from social media? Yes. It also helps because then you can concentrate and make better notes and do better research and not get distracted by YouTube and the stupidness and all the drama. So when you leave, you have more time to read and and try, because I've done experiments where I've tried and tried and tried, and I'm not gonna say I've been very successful. All right, I'm not gonna say I've been so successful. Oh my God! But in what I'm telling you, if you concentrate enough, if you meditate enough, you are able to go back in time. All right, and you are able. I could see my surroundings, sort of a remote viewing kind of thing, but time, back in time, I could see my, where I was at when I was 12. I could see what I was doing. I could see where I was walking around, when I was in school, all the daily things that I was doing in 84. If you take your time and you use your mind, the power of your mind is not just, this isn't just flesh, it's energy. All right, and it could bend time, your thoughts, your energy, okay, your soul, because we do have a soul, your light, your power, it can bend time. That's why memories are so important to us, okay? And memories are what makes you. Without memories, we're nothing, right? We can't do anything. So what I'm trying to do is not physically get into a time machine and close the door and and go 88 miles per hour, but try to do it in a different way. And you start slow, you start with little things, and then eventually you get to bigger things, and then I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. So, but you need time. I mean, this shit could take 30 to 50 years to figure out. Okay, this is complicated stuff. All right, it's not like you're gonna learn this shit in one day. Okay, you got to practice and practice and practice and practice. So next time you're thinking about my videos and just making fun of them and just say some silly, stupid shit, think about what I've been talking about right now. All right, this is scientific, the scientific method. All right, and it's absolutely real. All right, you got to stop thinking about just being solid matter. We're more than that. All right, we could jump from here across the galaxy in seconds. All right, it's possible, but we just haven't been able to get there because there's limitations in our body. And but the clue, the resolution, the clue to all of this, okay, is back in 84. There's where, maybe it's in a computer, maybe it's in a writing, maybe it's in a book somewhere, or I don't know, it could be in a movie or in a song or anything. But the secret to going back, it's somewhere, all right? It's somewhere between year 0 and 1984. See you guys later. And may the force be with you. Bye.